everybody, how is it going? And welcome to another episode of Amps of the XFX 3. Today we are going to be looking at the Cornford MK50 II. Hey guys, if this is your first time here or if you've been here before, make sure you are subscribed. We do a ton of cool stuff here and I don't want you to miss out on any of it. Okay, so the Cornford, let's check it out, read about it, and discover all of its little quirks and features. So the Cornford itself is a British amp. It does use some EL34s. You could get it with 6L6s, but I'm pretty sure the one that's modeled in here in the XFX and the original amp was based on EL34s, since it is British and British amps tend to use EL34s. IR-wise, we are using the GGD Zilla Oversized 412 with a UK V30 with an SM57 on it. Have a little bit of room by month. There we go. This amp is really unique because it has two input drives on it, so you can kind of twist those to get exactly how you want it feel-wise. Preamp-wise, I am using a T808 input boost on here. I'll do that with on and off and a little later, but actually let's read about the amp. So this is going to come from the Amp Guy. I'm going to put a link to that down in the description if you want to check it out. The Corncob M50 is what it's called in the XFX, but it's actually called the Cornford MK50H #2. Lots of corn going on. Interesting thing about this amp is that the founder and creator of Cornford actually went on to found Victory Amp. So Cornford in its pure form actually doesn't really exist anymore. It lives on in the Victory amps. This amp itself, it's 50 watts of output, and Cliff's comments on it is the Plexi meets modern tone with big cojones. I don't have to definitely agree with Cliff on there. It does have a clean channel, but that's not modeled in the actual XFX itself. It has all the controls that the real amp had, and I like to actually overdrive a little high. I'd like to run the overdrive in this a little low. The intro was on my split coil position on my Anderson Cobra with HC1 in the neck and an HC3 in the bridge. Really cool thing about this amp is that it responds really well to pickup selecting. So what I've been doing recently is moving my pickup selector to get different gain values. So watch, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you can usually achieve that same thing by lowering your volume down. I like to use my pickup selector because you can bounce between the different positions. The last position you heard was my middle position with my tone pot up, and when I do that, it takes the amps from series to parallel, gives you a little bit different sound. And I find that this amp works very well for it. Let's bounce on over to the preamp section. Actually, let me put a little bit of bass in here. So, this amp is like super bassy. So this is what it's gonna sound like with that extra dB of bass. So it's a little bit thicker going on there. If you drop out the drive, as you can hear, it's a very basic amp. It also does tend to get kind of harsh if you push it super hard. So I'm gonna push the overdrive up and let you hear that. So you can get it very snarly if you want. I have my gate up a little bit. It can get a little bit noisy, as you can see. It is a little bit noisy, but I mean, it's a high gain amp. You're gonna have a little bit of that noise creeping in there. Dialed everything in and authentic. Didn't really screw with anything in ideal. I showed you the preamp, power amp. We're using EL34s. Didn't mess with anything in there. Output EQ. I scooped just a little bit of mids out of it. Didn't have to pull a lot of 500 out of it, which was very nice because pretty much almost every amp I have like a little V in there, and I have to pull a lot of 500 out. Let's do EQ on and off. Just pulled a little bit of that mids out of there and it sounds really great. This amp's really cool. You can get a lot of different sounds out of it. Once again, I like to keep it, I mean, keep it kind of low. So I have the input drive like right here because I wanted that thunk that's in there. I want a lot of bass, and that's why I have the bass kind of low right here. So that's pretty much covers most of the different things that on how I initially set it up. There's another thing I wanted to investigate is so if we turn this off, I've been messing around with the FET boost, and so put on the FET boost, and I'll let you hear what it sounds like before and after with the FET boost. I really like the sound that the FET boost does to the Cornford, and I find that it takes it really well. Honestly, let's put on a little bit of reverb, and I'll play some single note stuff on the neck pickup since we haven't really been there yet. So, once again, this amp is very bassy, so I'm on a neck pickup. Obviously, the neck pickup's gonna have a little bit more bass in there, and you heard it kicked up, and I'm only like at 2 right there. This amp, it can be really good for leads, too. I mean, I know I'm kind of playing more of like a reserve type stuff, but if you really want some, high gain soaring leads, it's really good for that. Throw in some delay, and you can jack up the overdrive, and you can get it nice and fat, and you can get yourself a nice, good soaring type of tone with the Cornford. Alright guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for the Cornford. We've explored a couple different ways with the drive in front, and I'm doing a couple of... I think I'm going to leave it like this. That's kind of, I don't know, I'm feeling that vibe right now. Don't really know why, but I'm just going to leave it like that. Guys, if you thought this video was cool, leave me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, make sure you subscribe. We do a bunch of cool stuff here, and I don't want you to miss anything that we got coming up next on Amps of the Axe-Fx 3. We are going to be checking out Das Metal, which is based on the Diesel VH3. So, guys, make sure you subscribe. I don't want you to miss that. Thank you so much for checking out this video, guys. I really, really do appreciate it. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Peace.